Hi, Cisco Configuration Professional Review and Troubleshooting. Okay, so it all started with the installation and running it. I started with version 2.6, and as I can see, I am adding my local IP address to a compatibility list because CCP didn't want to start. As you can see, it's white area at the bottom. So I will restart it again now. Okay, it is loading, and now according to Cisco, it should run without any problems. Okay, Cisco Configuration Professional is a tool designed by Cisco to help you set up your router, and it's crap. It's as bad as SDM was, and it's useless in most cases. And for sure, Cisco should not get away with a statement on their website that it's an easy tool to deploy your routers. It's not. It doesn't work. Okay, so as you can see, it crashed again, so I will try and restart it again. So this is like a short review and troubleshooting video. So unfortunately, this video had like 55 minutes where I waited for 700 things to start in the background, and it has crashed at least 50 times. So, you know, I didn't want to include everything in this video. So it's just, you know, I cut a lot of things here because it makes no sense for you to wait for a port to be open for 20 minutes. So now, as you can see, I am loading 2.6 again, and now it's loaded in the right way, but you're not going to see anything, and Internet Explorer crashed. It's Windows 7, nothing fancy, Windows 7 Pro, nothing really on this PC, on this laptop. I think 2 GB of RAM, all service packs supplied, things like that. So I decided to give up, and I decided to put 2.7 because that's what Cisco, the latest version is. There is 2.8, but it's not for a PC yet. Every time it crashes, you have to close some services. So now I am opening it again. And as you can see, nothing happens. So this time, when I click, nothing happened. Now it's trying to retrieve a port, and it's going to stay at this page forever. And yeah, that's what I said. I just gave up and decided to put 2.7, which we're going to see in a moment. I am using a Cisco 877W wireless router that is connected to my laptop, and there is a console port as well. So what I did, I used both, and I went through many settings. You will see the installation in a sec. As you can see, there is nothing on the screen with 2.6. It's, you know, Cisco say it's a great tool for beginners, and it's useless. It's just, I know why they do that. They do that on purpose. So they tell you, oh, go and study CCNA. You have to be a CLI guy. But it's 21st century, guys. We need graphs. We need nice tools to speed it up. It's not 1995 where I should type everything. It's especially important for monitoring. And Cisco should realize that, because they're really behind. And I think the main problem is that Cisco, they keep everything in Java. So I used to work with Fortinet firewalls. It's a great web-based interface. No issues at all. Yeah. So as you can see, I am removing 2.6 now, and I am going to put 2.7. At this stage, everything went pretty okay, and I am going to show you how I pre-configured a router to make it ready for CCP as well, from scratch. So what we need really is an IP address. I created a Dhcp scope as well, and we have to tell a router to accept HTTP. And then I just went through some basic, really simple configuration options, like assigning IP addresses and adding some VLANs, uploading files, enabling NAT, firewall, wireless, just basic things that you would expect to do on a small office, home office router. Okay, so as you can see, it is ready. Now we have to specify an IP address, which will be 10.10.12.1. Okay, and the username is Cisco, password is Cisco. But before we click OK, we have to set up our router and make it ready. I'm going to use PuTTY. So to pre-configure this router, and that's what I said. I'm going to start from scratch to show you how to make it happen in the real world as well. Okay, so we have to give it an IP address, Dhcp scope, and so on. Okay, so the first thing is to verify the IP addresses. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing. So we start in VLAN 1 and we'll give it 10.10.12.1. Okay, no shut. And now what we have to do, we have to create a Dhcp scope. We could assign, a local IP address, but it makes sense to create a local Dhcp scope. I'm doing all these things to see how CCP will recognize my options. Okay, to verify. Okay, that is my interface F3 where my laptop is connected. As you can see, I have not received an IP address yet, so it makes sense to I could do IP config renew. I can just shut down and do no shut on a port to help my PC get an IP address. As you can see, I received one. Then I had some problems pinging. You will see that in a sec. I couldn't ping this laptop. I think it was just an ARP issue. But you will see that in a sec. Okay, creating a username and password. And now to enable HTTP server. It means allow CCP access in this case. Okay, and as you can see, I cannot ping 10.10.12.2, which is my laptop, which was really weird, but I think it was an ARP issue. Not sure if that was on a laptop or on a router. I decided not to investigate it further because it was just a lab. What is interesting, you will see that in a sec, that I was able to ping 10.10.12.1 and then I could ping from the router again. So it was just an ARP issue. It was possible because I had a wireless connection enabled as well. So, and I have some 10 networks here. So I just let it go. Right. So the first problem I noticed was that my outside interface, which I wanted to use, which was VLAN 2, I wanted to set it up as a Dhcp address. And unfortunately, I couldn't find an option like that. It was a static IP address or no IP address at all, which was really weird. Not sure if it's possible at all. I just fixed that from the web, from the CLI. As you can see here, I added IP address Dhcp. Again, all these things, that's CCP is not good enough, if you want to set it up. From time to time, you'll have to go back to the CLI and fix a few things that it breaks. And that's the first thing I noticed, that you couldn't assign an IP address from Dhcp. I'm not really sure why, but this option was not available over there. Not sure if it was hidden somewhere, but I expected that to be like a very clear option. If you want to use this router, because I appreciate it's ADSL, but maybe you want to use it as a broadband router or something like that. Anyway, as you can see, VLAN 2, there is no IP address yet, and this is my outside interface, which I'm going to connect to the internet. Okay, I'm changing port F0 to be assigned to VLAN 2. And as you can see, that is a good thing about CCP. It will show you the commands, and that is a good way to learn if you want to learn a new feature. But you will see in the firewall it implemented was horrible. But anyway, now I do show IP interface brief, and as you can see, we have not received any IP addresses yet, but it will change in a sec, and we'll get an IP address, which is my outside interface, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to implement NAT. This router didn't allow me to create NAT in the first step, because it said, oh, there is no second interface, so I set it up for this router. So that's what I wanted to do, like, you know, having a router in a small office. It can take a while for this interface to come up. As you can see, it's up and down. Now it's up, and it is going to get an IP address in a sec, which is a pseudo public. Of course, it's private. It's behind another router, but you know, it thinks it's a public IP address. So now I need NAT, and NAT configuration was okay. So now I have to refresh that, because it didn't recognize that something has changed, which is not good. For instance, ASA will recognize that straight away and warn you. That is something that, again, Cisco were lazy and forgot to put. Just said that 3 times. NAT configuration was okay, but for someone who has never worked with Cisco, I'm pretty sure he or she would never get to that point, because I had to spend a few minutes in the CLI fixing, like IP Dhcp or later on Telnet and so on. You'll see that. Okay, so now in the NAT it's pretty straightforward. It's just asking outside and inside, which is VLAN 2 is my outside, VLAN 1 is my inside interface, which is okay. And no other questions asked, because it assumes it should create NAT overload. And it's going to create a simple access list and apply it under all interfaces. And now I tested that using PuTTY and executing ping using source VLAN 1. So first make sure you can ping the internet, and now source VLAN 1, and we can ping to verify. We can see some NAT translation. NAT is working, that's fine, yeah. So CCP didn't break anything at this stage. But that's what I said, to get to that stage, a few CLI commands were required. Now firewall, okay. So there are 2 flavors here. It's classic CBAC or the new approach which Cisco recommend, which is zone-based firewall, and that's what we're going to create. We're going to go for a basic firewall, just to keep it simple. And in this case, it didn't break anything either, but it created a lot of rules. Of course, everything was described what it was going to create. Not a lot of options to customize that though, and here at this stage you have to know what you're doing. It's not like, yeah, I will enable the firewall for you. Even though it was clever enough to say you will not be able to access it from VLAN 2, which is my outside interface, which is okay. So now you can preview the commands. Yeah. So not a lot of options to customize it here. But still you have to know what you're doing. It's going to create a lot of class maps and policies. You're going to see that in a moment. I think it's going to create like almost 400 lines for this firewall, which is a lot. But you know, you can argue it created a lot of rules for different servers. And do you really need that? Well, maybe. So of course, if you went for this basic firewall, you would not receive as many lines. But still, something that, as you can see on the screen, it's class maps that it's going to create for you, and I'm trying to track down one for Yahoo servers to see how it applied and if that was allowed or denied, because that's what I wanted to do, verify, and it was inspected. Okay. Well, you will see that in a sec. Okay, so as you can see, no drop and inspect. Okay, so yeah, I let it do its thing and apply this firewall, and it asked for a DNS server because it used host names, so this feature was required, which was okay. But then at the end I was really surprised, because, you know, I was done with all these options and everything that I have done so far, and that's fine. The router was happy, I'm up and running, there is a Dhcp server and everything is okay. And you will see that in a moment. I wanted to access the internet and I couldn't. And you know, if you don't have a lot of experience with Cisco, you're done at this stage. Because the problem was that I forgot to put a default gateway in my Dhcp options. Okay, and that is something that, you know, CCP should recognize straight away. Listen, mate, you're trying to add a firewall that your router is going to be connected to the internet, and you don't have a default gateway. This application is not smart. Okay, it's just, yeah, it can do a few things here and there, but do not expect that to be really smart and recognized. It's Cisco. You have to know what you're doing. That's what Cisco say. This, in my opinion, it's just Cisco being lazy, really, really lazy. And of course, they want you to go for CCNA, CCNP training, and that's what I tell my students, because I teach as well. And I say, you know, there is a tool like that. You can use that from time to time, especially if you want to learn or test a few things. That's fine, but do not expect this tool to help you in the real world at all, which is really wrong, because when you think about ASA and ASDM, it's a really good tool. Okay, you can really manage a firewall, a Cisco firewall, using ASDM. It is possible, and it works really, really well. So it is possible, Cisco. Yes, it is. Okay, I know you don't want to do that, but you are behind. Yeah? And if you want to ask anyone to buy a router like that, you have to design a proper tool. Yeah, not a tool that will work from time to time only, because it's not good. And I was especially upset, I think that was a year ago, when I wanted to buy an 800 series router for a client, and on the Cisco website it said, well, there is a new CCP tool, you don't have to know the CLI at all. That's what they said. And it was really wrong. I even emailed them and say, that's really wrong. That's really wrong. You know, they don't realize they can, you know, I was speechless when I saw that. That is just horrible. Yeah, you can't lie, yeah, like that on your website. And I think it was removed later on. Now they don't claim anything like that. I checked this website yesterday, and they say CCP, Cisco Configuration Professional, and SDM can help you do this or that. I couldn't find a sentence saying, oh, you don't have to know the CLI, it's the best thing ever. well, if you find a sentence like that, please show it to me. Anyway, going back to my review. Now I'm going to remove the default gateway on the wireless card to make sure there are no issues, and I know this laptop will try and browse the internet using my wired connection, and that's where I was really surprised, that CCP didn't recognize that I had not put a default gateway in my Dhcp scope, which is really pathetic when you think about that. When you create CCP or when you create a tool like that, it should be really designed in a way that basic mistakes or things that you should really have, that should be, that should be implemented in this tool, and help you set it up, yeah. Because if you don't do that, then you will not be able to sell it as a product where CLI is not really required. Yeah. So anyway, now I am checking the Firewall. I could never memorize the command. It's show class map type inspect, just to verify how many class maps. Take a look, guys. Yeah, quite a few. And then policy, and see if this firewall is working. Okay, and then I noticed that I couldn't browse the internet. As you can see, firewall is in place, and then I realized I couldn't access the internet. Yeah. So if you want to use CCP and you don't know anything about Cisco, don't do it. Okay, that's my only advice. If you want to study for CCNA or do some basic monitoring tasks, yeah, sure, you can use it if you want, but do not use that in a production environment. CCP can break a lot of things. Okay, as you can see, I can't browse the internet. CCP didn't complain about anything. It's just it implemented NAT, it implemented firewall, it implemented all these options. It knows that I am connected to the internet. Yeah, it knows I am connected to the internet. Yeah, I received an IP address for my DNS server, but there is no default gateway. Yeah, come on, Cisco. Where were you when someone forgot to put a default gateway on a DNS scope? Anyway, I fixed that from the CLI because it is much faster. Unfortunately, because I am not happy. I think it's the 21st century, and we should start using tools that can speed up our tasks. Yeah. So it's I don't really agree with a statement when people say that, oh, you have to be, you have full control when you use the CLI. No, that's not true. Because you are lazy to give me a tool that can do that for me. That is just an excuse. Yeah? Okay? That is my opinion. Anyway, I am putting a default gateway for my network. I created a pull test. Now I have to renew my IP address on a laptop. That will give me a default gateway and should allow me to browse the internet. As you can see, 10.10.12.1 is in place. I can ping the internet now, and I can ping google.com. Okay, just to verify Google it. Okay, so that's CCP in action. Okay, so to be honest, if I was Cisco, I would be embarrassed by this tool. That is just my opinion. Anyway, wireless. Okay, because this is a wireless router, I said, okay, why not? Let's give it a try. I knew it would not work because I had used that in the past. I had seen it in the past, but anyway, let's give it a try. Why not? Okay, so I went to this wireless section, clicked on wireless application, and then I received an error message saying, oh, by the way, you need this file. And what is really wrong about this message is that it tells you what's wrong, but it's not happy to fix it for you or take you to a screen where you can do that. Okay, that is really wrong. So if there is an error message saying, oh, this is missing or that is not in place, if that is a tool for beginners or people who are not familiar with Cisco, you should give something like a link and say, okay, go here and fix it, or I can fix it for you. Okay, that's not the case with Cisco. Sometimes Cisco will tell you, if they're really kind, they will tell you what's wrong, but that's it. Yeah. So anyway, I had to go to Flash Management and upload this file. Okay, so as you can see, I couldn't remember the path, so I just browsed it locally. And that is my point, that this tool is designed for people who don't know a lot about Cisco. So there should be literally one click. Oh, by the way, do you want me to fix it? Because CCP, Cisco Configuration Professional, knows where this file is. So it could do it for me. Yeah? That's what I mean. It is just wrong that Cisco were lazy and they said, oh, by the way, just upload this file. And that's it. And if you're a beginner, you say, what the hell? Okay, just do it for me, mate. Just leave me alone. I want to set up wireless. I don't want to upload any files. Anyway, so this file is located in program files. So I found it eventually and uploaded that for this router, and it allowed me to open this wireless configuration page, which is horrible. It is horrible. And now another error message. Oh, by the way, you can't upload anything because there is no telnet set up. And it's another message that's saying, okay, so what if you're not a Cisco guy, say, okay, what is VTI config? What the hell is that? Yeah, so I had to go to line VTY and enable telnet. So, as you can see, all these small things, it just proves that this tool is useless for beginners, and it is like, literally, it looks like something designed by a home user to manage a simple server. It is, I don't know how Cisco can put a logo on a product like that. I really don't. And it can get away with an application like that. Anyway, I can tell you one story, that I have bought at least 3 or 4 routers from people who believed CCP can help them, or SDM can help them set up a router. Yeah, because they bought it from a website and said, oh, you can use this Cisco Configuration Professional web GUI, and there were great pictures, a nice video showing you bits and pieces that you can do this, that, 2 clicks and you're done. And well, I made a good deal because I got 2 or 3 routers really cheap, but they were very upset about that because they said, what the hell? We bought a router with a piece of software and it can't do basic things. I don't know Cisco, I just wanted to put that for my client, and I'm not really a network guy. And of course you can argue that, oh, no, that you should be qualified, yeah, whatever. My opinion is it's not really true. Anyway, we have our wireless screen, which you will see crashed my Internet Explorer straight away when I wanted to bring one interface up, because it recognized, oh, by the way, the interface is down. Do you want me to do no shut? Yeah, sure, do it. And that's it, it died. Okay, so I had to restart Internet Explorer. Another thing, or Firefox, whatever. So next time I started it, I just said, no, don't touch this interface, don't do anything. This wireless web interface is even worse than Cisco Configuration Professional. If you try and use that on I think I tried it on 1131 Cisco access point. When this access point was up and running, literally was up and running, had been up for like 2 years. And I said, okay, so let's give it a try. And I connected to it. And you know what the first message I saw was, welcome, that is your new access point. Do you want to set it up? That's, I rest my case.